How's everybody doing today? I'm feeling pretty good. Just want to give you a little update on my training, on how it's going. My left arm is still pretty freaking jacked from being down in Ottawa, pulling with Devon and them guys. But my right arm is feeling so solid right now. It's really starting to come along quickly. My hand is feeling swollen all the time. It's constantly swollen. So it's a good thing I've been working the shit out of my hand every single day. There's not a single day that goes by where I'm not working the shit out of my hand. So I'm feeling good. I still got about a month and a half of training before I'm gonna start to taper down. So I believe that's gonna give me more than enough time. I definitely am not where I was when I had ended last time WL finished, but I'm definitely coming very close to where I was. So I honestly feel that when the time comes and I actually get off the plane from Istanbul, I'm gonna be probably the strongest, the biggest version of me anybody has ever seen. It's been a long time since I haven't had a whole ton of aches and pains in my body, in my elbows, in my hands, and my wrists. And I don't really feel many pains anymore. I'm keeping myself beat right down. I'm probably walking around about probably 60-70% constantly, but I feel good. Slightly inflamed, but nothing too extraordinary where it's not gonna hurt. So figure I go in today, I'm gonna try to do one of these live streams at least once a week. So if you guys got any questions, any input, anything you guys wanna see, don't feel bad to let me shoot your questions, throw them out there. What's my weight right now? My weight right now, I'm probably sitting about 244-ish. I'm in the light to mid in the evenings, getting closer to the 250 range. I've been eating so much, like I feel stuffed constantly. There's not a minute of the day that goes by where my belly isn't sore from the amount of food that I'm eating. So the weight is definitely coming back, and it's coming back quick. Thank God I've been blessed with good muscle memory, because it's definitely helping out with recovering everything over the last year and a half from not really doing a whole lot. So I definitely think coming into the match, I'm probably gonna be sitting around that 255, probably the 260-ish mark. The biggest I ever was when I've competed in WL was 252. So it's gonna be definitely really interesting. I know Hermes is probably the biggest he's ever been right now. He's definitely looking strong. I know I see him doing these after pulling. He looks pretty strong on that after table. I know I felt it. He always feels strong on the after table. But I think come go time, when it counts to that 1 millisecond where they say go, I definitely feel that I'm gonna be right freaking there. I feel bad. I feel really bad for what might happen when I'm on that table and everything starts coming back to me. It's been a long time, but even just the thought and the feeling of walking up there and being able to compete again, I can feel my blood already starting to boil. So I so can't wait. It's been a long time since I've been able to release that energy I've been holding in for so long. So it's gonna be great. Let's see. Yeah, that is a nice garage. Thank you. Yeah, the whole reason why I bought this place was because of the shop. So, what's up with WAL? I would say what's going on with WL is the same thing that's going on with the rest of the world with a lot of major things. WL was doing amazing things, but for the amount of money that it would take for production crews, for people to be flying in and out, the isolation costs, everything else involved with that. It's not really feasible for them to really do anything right now. So I really hope that as this shit kind of settles off, that there's definitely going to be some things coming. It's just a matter of time before all this shit kind of settles down. COVID's really putting a twist in things, and for them to spend the amount of money that it would take for the amount on the return that they're getting right now, it's just not feasible for them. And WL is a business, and that's what they've wanted to do right from the beginning. Is they tried to build a business out of it. And in order for a business to run, you need to be able to make money. If they don't see that they're really gonna be making a bunch of money, then there's not really a point for them to really push right now. I know they're partially involved with the Larry Wheels thing and the Michael Todd that's gonna be going on. They're somewhat in cahoots with each other. How it's all figured out and what they're doing, I'm not 100% sure, but they definitely aren't. They're definitely not dead. They're just kind of sleeping right now, waiting for everything to kind of settle off so they can carry on. So, you are an Eagle Team K. Nice, right on, Rob Virgin Jr. So, I see the troll armies in the house. So, where's Desperation Pinocchio? I know he's got to be in here somewhere too, hey? So, all right. Miss you too, Jonathan. It's been too long, buddy. Hopefully all this shit settles down. We can start coming across the border a little more freely. I'd like to get over close in the area. I'd like to go hang out with Rob Vinge, maybe do some collabs and stuff together too. And definitely love to hit up your area. Been a long time since I've seen you. Too long. So, in Turkey, atmosphere will be different. No audience. And you also haven't pulled without FL strict rules in a long time. What do you think, and how much will this affect your performance? It's been a long time since I pulled anything WAF, but it's never really gone away, because whenever I'm setting up in practice or anything else, I'm always trying to set up with the most fairest grip I can to my opponent. I'm never leaving my elbow off the pad. I think it's kind of crummy without the running fouls. I think it's definitely going to put a show damper on a lot of situations where we could have a good match and there's going to be an elbow pop or something going on. But as for me getting back into the WAF routine, no, because I was born, raised, and groomed on WAF. So it's just like riding a bike, I believe, for me. There's gonna be a few little things in there, just the whole piss around. I don't really care much for the whole piss around. I'd rather just grip and rip. But you know what? It is what it is. And you know, he wants this. He wants to show that he can beat me on his rules and his turf with his referees and everything else. And I plan on letting him know that ain't gonna happen. So no, I don't think there's gonna be a huge transition and a huge upset or me being able to adapt to the WAF rules, because that was how I learned, right? So, well, when it happens, you'll win. Cody Sluggett, thanks, buddy. Thanks for that super chat. Dude, I can't wait. Like, I'm so freaking pumped for this. It's just, the biggest thing is just trying to keep all my nerves and everything kind of just bundled up right now. A lot of emotion already wants to come out from it, but I don't really want to let it out. I'm saving it all just for when that time comes. So, Jonathan Lies Be Kind. Warm regards from Israel. Thanks for that super chat, buddy. Israel, beautiful place, hey? How's the weather there? I bet it's toasty as hell. Weather here has been great, up, down. One day it's plus 20, the next day it's freaking 2 degrees and it's snowing. So it is what it is. That's Alberta. That's how she goes all the time. If Hermes want to fight in the ring, would you do that? Well, that would obviously have to cost an extra bit of a fee. But yeah, I'd throw on the boxing gloves. I'd fight Hermes if he really wanted to fight. I'm not much of a fighter, but push comes to shove, I'm not going to back down either. So, your thoughts on the Larry Wheels versus Schoolboy Revenge Match from Stizzy? My thoughts on Schoolboy and Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels is that dude's mentality for what he's bringing into the game, how he's going about it, completely put his ego, everything aside. I believe there's probably not many people right now on the planet that are probably making the progression that he is. Plus, with the amount of top level arm wrestlers that are constantly going out and showing him tricks and the little things that'll help him. If he's taken the right information and he's using it more to his advantage, how much of it is soaking in, I'm not really sure. But I think that it's way too soon for Larry's to be pulling Schoolboy. I believe if there is a show on it in any way whatsoever, that it's because Schoolboy is allowing it to be a show. I think Schoolboy he's on that level. He is a top tier puller, and he's not a very small dude. Like the dude, Verrett is over 220 pounds. He's 6'2", 6'3", and doesn't look very strong, but so solid. Like even watching some of his videos where he's pulling in the Russians and all that, like he's right there. He is a top level athlete, and I feel that it's too soon. I think maybe another year, 2 years, Larry might have been able to do something a little more with him, but I think it's still a little too soon. I believe that when you get into the sport, before you start to really get more comfortable into what you're doing and your move, it takes 2 to 3 years of solid going hard. So, how did Devon's right hand feel? What's your thoughts on how the match will play out? From Premium, thanks for that super chat, buddy. Devon's hand right now is the biggest and the strongest I've ever felt it. And is thick, it's really coming together. My thoughts on the match, if Devon goes back to fundamentals and does more on how he initially used to pull and can stay a lot tighter, stay above his hand, I believe that Devon can do it. I think that if he opens up and he gets too much outside of his shoulder in any way whatsoever, Michael's transition from his King's move to a press is definitely next level. And if Devon opens up at all in any way whatsoever, I feel he's going to be exposed, and it ain't going to take long for Michael Todd to jump in and drive on top of his arm. For Devon, Devon's definitely strong. He's got a strong arm, but like that press of Michael Todd's, when you're that opened up, if you're outside of your shoulder at all in any way out here, as opposed to being in here, it's lethal, absolutely 100% lethal. And I do believe Devon is going to do it. I do believe Devon's getting back to where I feel he needs to be mentally and where he needs to be position-wise. The one thing that he has going for him is he's feeling so strong right now that he may rely on his strength too much as opposed to the fundamentals and technique aspect of it. But I think if there's anybody right now in this world that can do it, besides Levon, possibly Vitaly, just with their styles and that, it's definitely Devon. Devon, I do believe my money, if I was betting, I'd be betting on Devon this time. So 100% I'd be betting on Devon. I'm not taking any bets, but I would be betting on Devon if I was to be. Hey man, from Athabasca, Alberta, played hockey in Red Deer. What do you think is the key to beating Nermey's top roll? I think the key to beating Nermey's top roll is to control his hand. I need to be able to manipulate his hand in a way where he's not in his comfort zone. How I'm going to do that, I know how I'm going to do that. I'm not going to say how I'm going to do it because word travels quick. So after it's all said and done, if it goes how I have planned, then we're definitely I'll do a video. I'll explain exactly what I did to beat him and pull him out of his position, and the exercises and everything that I did do to help prepare myself to be able to do. Did we cut out there? Alrighty. So, I don't know, I think I had a little bit of bad Wi-Fi there for a second. So for my sleep, I'm usually getting about a solid 6 hours of sleep at night, but in the afternoon, I'm throwing in, if I have the time, I try to get at least an hour to 2 hour nap. I find that my sleeps are definitely helping with my recovery. Obviously, sleep, that's when you're doing most of your recovery. If my sleep is shit going into it, it definitely fucks me up. One of the biggest things that messes up my sleep is too much thought, too much thinking about the match, everything else, what I got coming up. So I tried to just only concentrate on what I'm gonna be doing in my match and everything else when I'm going through my motions, my positions, and I'm doing my exercises. Other than that, as soon as I'm laying in bed, I try to just tune it all out. As it gets closer and closer to the date, it definitely becomes a lot harder. I believe this one's definitely just the hype, the build up, everything else, the anticipation for this one. It's gonna be really, really tough just for what it means and what it could mean, if this match goes the way I want. So I'm definitely gonna be looking into like some herbal remedies or something like that, where it'll help me calm my nerves, put me a little more sleep and everything at night. Vroom, importance of table training is apparent, but I've been curious about the utility activity of avoided weight training, aside from extra table training it allows. John Cobra, now Devon inspired question. I'm guessing what you're thinking about that is side table, when you're not on the table and you're not training, is weight training crucial and important. I believe if you're not getting what you fully need out of your training practices, or you're only able to say hit table time once every 2 weeks or once a week, something like that, I definitely believe that weights are important, if not more important than just a table time, just to help keep yourself beat down to that level in between while you're actually training. I know I'm hitting my weights every day, even if I'm really sore from practicing. I'm still hitting my weights. I just not going as heavy, I'm not going as intense. I'm just doing a lot more reps just to get that blood and everything else going through. You start taking kava. Oh, help relax your nerves. I'll look into that, buddy. Thanks for the tip. How long will you be in Turkey, and do you have plans to do anything else there other than the match? Canadian Chihuahua. I'm hoping to be flying in probably around the 7th to the 8th. From there, it's gonna be just a matter of a bunch of eating days and resting days. I'm not gonna be doing a shit ton. If there's anybody in the area, reach out to me that knows different things to do. There's gonna be a few days where I'm just gonna walk. I'm gonna go check out some of the areas, see what Turkey has to offer. But I plan on flying out probably the 7th or the 8th to go there. As soon as the match is over, the next day, if not the following day after that, I'm gonna be heading home just to get back to civilization, well, so-called civilization. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go check out some things. I want to try out the food. I don't really know what's in Turkey or what Istanbul has to offer. I know that I've heard there's some beautiful, beautiful sites to go check out. So I definitely want to go check it out. I'll be taking some videos and everything else with the people I meet along the way, and what I end up seeing, share it all with you guys. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a really good experience. I've heard Engine puts on some world-class events. The amount of people and support that they have in the Turkey area for people that show up to these events is definitely on top. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing exactly what everything there is. Let's see here. Would you give up all your arm wrestling strength if it gave you the ability to throw a potato through a cruise ship? Probably not. I don't think it's possible to throw a potato. How much velocity would you need behind that potato for it to go through a cruise ship? It's just a potato. Like, I'm pretty sure it would hit. The only thing that would make a difference is that the potato is just going to make more of a mess when it hits, right? So, all right. Will you be in Devon Corner on the 28th? No, I'd like to be in Devon's Corner on the 28th, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Just with the amount of hassle and everything there is right now for us to travel out of the country into other countries, there's no way in hell that I'm gonna be able to be in Dubai and go over to Istanbul afterwards. Just the amount of time I'd have to take off of work and the amount of money, everything else it would take to be going through the process that would be involved with it. I'm unfortunately not gonna be able to. I would have loved to have been there in Devon's Corner and helped them as best as I could. I don't know who he has going down with him or who he's going to be having in his corner. I'm sure there's probably going to be a line of people that are willing to be there for him. So it's probably not going to take long. But yeah, I wish I could. I wish I could. I wish I'd be able to have Devon there with me in mind, but that's just the way it works sometimes, right? They keep seeing that you're 6'5" and other times 6'6". Which is it? Keep up the great work, man. Melvin Fristorsers. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I'm 6'5", 6'6", depends on what convenience store I walk into. I tend to be taller at 7-Elevens than the Mac stores, but I'm right around that 6'5.5" mark. So it's, some people say I'm taller than that, but no, I'm 6'5.5". If I'm slouching, I'm 6'5". If I'm wearing my high heels, I'm 6'6". So, is it possible to eat Hermes in a practice pool? No. For me, probably not. I probably would never be able to beat Hermes in a practice pool just because he's strong all the time. I'm strong on a practice table, but not compared to what it's like when I get myself to that next level, rage and feel like I want to rip somebody's face off. So no, and to me, I could care less if I can ever beat him in a practice poll, because that's all it is just a practice poll. So no, like, for my full potential, for me to be at my best, it needs to be at a top level, top tier tournament where I definitely feel like everything's against me. It's something I've really, really worked for. Practice poll, it's hard to get anything out of a practice poll. All it is just somewhat gauge your opponent, but that's it. Let's do an arm wrestling. Question for you. What strategies, oh, it's taken off there. Let's see. question for you. What strategies do you use at practice when you're the strongest guy when you want to focus on power? So if I'm the strongest person in practice, then I don't go for a grip. I don't fight for a grip. I'll grab really low down by the wrist and I'll try to top roll through the person with just my thumb. I won't go for anything and I'll let them get everything. I'll let them pull me to their side of the table to where they feel 100% comfortable, and then I'll slowly take it back and then I'll just give it back to them. Eventually you have enough guys, or you do that enough, you definitely get that burn that you need in order to build up that strength from pulling on the table practice. Yeah, it's just, if you're definitely the strongest person and you're grabbing onto the person and you're always going for that little bit of an advantage, that sweet spot that you always want to feel when you're at the table and you're competing, then you're going to be so much more dominant than them. So just, that's where you concentrate on your battered positions, the ones that you're not very good at, getting into a shitty position and really trying to work it back. That's where you're going to be able to build strength when you're training with guys that you're a lot stronger or you're more advanced from. So it's give take, right? So if you give him enough, then you can start to take something back in return, right? Rebecca Todd said, everyone in arm wrestling is using gear of some kind. True, my thoughts. I say no. I don't think everybody in the sport is on something. Anybody that achieves something, people instantly want to point their finger at them and say that they're on something or they're taking it because of what they're doing. If they are on something, whatever, everything has consequences. You're going to take something, you can only take it for so long before something else comes into play and you really start to drive downhill. If somebody wants to and they want to be able to take something to help bring out the best version of them, give them an extra motivation to be able to do it, then fucking go do it. But don't be competing at tournaments where they're testing and doing all this other bullshit and taking away from amateurs and people that are just trying to get something out of it. So yeah, I could care less. Anybody, you take whatever the hell you want, but that's where it's going to determine on how long your career is going to be. So let's see here. What's the hardest taking the GOAT status from John? Beating Todd Hutchins in a hook or beating Hermes in a practice bowl? Sap to be. Thanks for that super chat, buddy. I don't know. Beating John definitely has a lot more credential, I feel, especially if John is feeling somewhat good and he's been competitive and he's been doing his thing. Beating John is, there's maybe a handful of people in the world that can say, two handfuls maybe, that could say they've actually gotten a win on John. To be able to beat John in a super match, that's even bigger. But even just to be able to get a win on John, I know the highlight of my career was when I got my first win on John Music. And when I got that, just how I felt, it was, holy shit. Like, I couldn't even believe it. It took probably a week before I actually realized what I'd actually done. So yeah, I'd say beating John is definitely on the top of the list. So keep up the good work. Team Malta is with you. Kirsten, what's up, my man? I'm still waiting to hear when my flights are gonna be, but it sounds like it's gonna be somewhere in that date. As soon as I know, I'll be letting you know, because I need you in my fucking corner, okay? Looking forward to seeing you, buddy. Can't wait. When are you mad? When you are mad during a match, do you point your anger at your opponent or you just hype yourself up? That's from Blazes6457. Thanks for that super chat, buddy. I direct everything at my fucking opponent. I'll get myself pumped up to the point where I feel like I'm gonna explode, and I literally concentrate all that energy, all that rage, everything I have on him. And where it hits him is where I'm attached to him. I try to literally focus every little ounce of that energy into my hand and the direction and the angle that I'm trying to manipulate him into. So it starts with slowly building it up in myself, but once I get it built up to that certain point, then she all gets going towards my opponent. And that's probably one of the reasons why sometimes between matches I'll do the odd unsportsmanlike shit. And it's because I've got so much rage going to them and I'm caught in the moment. I don't really fucking realize what I'm doing at the time. There'll be lots of times where I'll go up to the person, oh man, I'm so sorry, right? So what I've been trying to do lately is I try to apologize before we even have the match by how I may act or what I may do when I'm up there. So, Chris Gammo, any thoughts of visiting AZ this year? I'm assuming you're thinking Arizona. Is that where it is? Wintertime here is absolutely great weather. Love watching you pull, brother. You're definitely a fan favorite in any event. Thank you, sir, for that super chat. And dude, man, I would love to be able to go to Arizona, especially in the wintertime here in Canada. Eventually, obviously, once all this shit breaks down, like we can't even drive across the border right now from Canada into the States. If I fly from the States into Canada, I'm paying quarantine fees, everything else. I can be in the States and I can drive back to Canada, but for me to drive to the States or the travel, the restrictions, everything else I have when I get back, it's not even worth it right now for pretty much anything, unless there's definitely a huge reward coming out of it. And even though that heat would be definitely worth it right now, it's so much of a fucking hassle. It's not even really worth it. I know when everything all settles, I'm hoping 10 years, 15 years down the road, eventually I want to have a place, Arizona, Phoenix, something like that, somewhere where it is warm. I want to be a snowbird. I want to come here in the summers, hang out with my lakes, and then wintertime I want to be down in the States where she's nice and warm. So happy 420 to all you motherfuckers too. What is on my recommended? Who has the strongest hand you've ever grabbed? Doesn't have to include matches. Who is the strongest hand I've ever grabbed? I would say the strongest hand I ever felt, just by shaking the man's hand and it sent shivers down my spine, was, I would say, Dave Chafee. That dude is so fucking solid, it's not even funny. The width of his wrist, the strength of his wrist, just even when he's super calm and he's just, how's it going, Matt? And he shakes your hand, you can just feel the amount of power in his hand. It was definitely by far the strongest, most intimidating hand I had ever shook when just by grabbing onto somebody's hand. So definitely I say Dave Chafee. And obviously by the looks of it, the way people pull with him, he's definitely one of the strongest hands and wrists in the game for sure when he is feeling healthy. I know he's had a few issues with sciatic nerves and stuff like that. That's definitely affected his ability and mobility in some things, but definitely when he's on top of his game, I don't think there's many more people that are capable. Nice to see you. The whole call out loves you. Stay cool. Thank you, the Giant Hornet, for that super chat, buddy. I'm gonna try to do these things once a week. We'll go from there. I'm still gonna be throwing out 1 to 2 little tip and trick videos. There's also gonna be the odd practice video. I'm gonna post the odd King of the Table video. This coming up practice, we're gonna have a couple super matches. I may go live for it. If I do, it's gonna be 7 p.m. Thursday. We're gonna have Caleb Freeborn, one of our new up-and-comers. He's definitely, I believe in my eyes, gonna be one of the next level tier guys in arm wrestling in Canada. He's gonna be going on against Jeff Miller. Jeff has been pulling for about 15, 20 years. He's never really hit that national, top national level, but if you're not on your A game, that dude can definitely mess shit up. So I'm really interested to see that match. I got my good buddy Vitaly Dezarenko trains with us. He's gonna be going against Jay Hagar, the Horrible from GP. Two massive human beings. I might have to get some extra bolts in the plywood for my table just so they don't get ripped out. But and then there's also going to be Senior is going to be having a rematch. They did a little TAL thing with Hugh Nutbrown. No, that's his real name. So Hugh Nutbrown is going to be pulling Buggy Senior, having a rematch. That should be a good one too. Last time Hugh was pretty dominant over him. So see if Buggy Senior comes in with a little. Spent 38 years in Alberta, Sherwood Park. Guy, went to inaugural tournament at the mall there back in about 2000, was awesome, but that was the first time I met a King's move. Did not like that. Not many people do like it. It's the most loved and hated move, I believe, in the sport. Some people, they really love it because it works well for them. And some people really love it because they know that the person's always going to use it and they're going to win and that's their guy. And some people hate it just because it's ugly. It's definitely not pretty. So that's all I got to say about the King's move. Okay. Well, I've seen the way Dave Chafee moves on form specific list. Isn't it retarded? That dude is so fucking strong. Do you know if there will be spectators there? How much do you rely on them to get psyched up? If you're talking about the turkey match, I'm assuming there's going to be spectators. I don't, because there's going to be a tournament and everything else going on at the same time. I don't know what their regulations that they have going on in their country. I know if it was here, there would be 0 spectators. People probably wouldn't even be holding hands. But whatever they plan on doing, I'm sure it's going to be huge. I definitely do use a little bit of the crowd and all the people in there, even if I know it's just being aired and it's live streamed or anything like that. Just knowing that many people are watching, it definitely helps to get the fuel going a little more. Will you visit Italy after the match against Hermes? Unfortunately not. I won't be going to Italy after I'm done with Hermes. I'll be getting back on the plane, coming right back because I'm probably gonna have to go to work, probably within a little bit of time, not long after I do get back. Are there any benefits of doing cardio workout for arm wrestling? Or is it better to focus on strength like Devon seems to do? I believe it all depends on what you're going for. I think if you're trying to lose weight and you're just looking for being able to get the lungs moving, being able to get that oxygen, working on that stamina, I think that running, doing cardio is definitely beneficial. I don't think that it's as beneficial as more concentrating on the strength part of it, especially when you're going against the super heavyweights. There's not many guys that do have that crazy stamina in that super heavyweight division. It's more about strength. But then again, he's going against somebody like Michael Todd. And the thing is, Devon has a retarded amount of stamina just in his upper body without being able to run. If he goes for a run right now, he's definitely huffing and puffing, but he can still stay on the table for retarded amounts of time without completely like blowing himself up and burning himself out. So I think by the approach that Devon's taking right now to build his mass and his strength up in order to be able to control the match more into the angles and everything else that he wants. I believe that that is what he needs to do in order to be able to defeat Michael. I don't think doing cardio is going to benefit him as much as building his strength up so he can manipulate that position more into the angles that he needs to be able to do what he wants to do in that match. Is my father a big guy? How old were you before you can beat him in an arm wrestling match? My dad wasn't quite as tall as me, but he was about 6'1", 250. God rest his soul. He passed away about probably 16 years ago, but he was always a fairly thick man. Wasn't super athletic. He was like to chill out more on the couch. But my grandfather, his dad, he was a fairly big man. He was about 6'2", 6'3". He was a little leaner. He was built very similar to me, besides the beer belly that he had. But he was about a 260, 265 type man. Very, very intimidating dude. More of his work ethic, his drive, his constantly want to keep busy, everything else I believe I've gotten from him. But there's not many men in my family that were very little. Majority of them were over 5'11", right around that 250 plus mark. So yeah, he was a fairly big guy. Do you park your cars during winter? Where do I park my cars during winter? Well, you can park your car in your garage. I don't really park my truck in my garage because I use my garage more for my training and everything else. But you just park it on the street. A lot of people tend to have car starters. You just heat the thing up, get your arse out a little earlier, go shovel off the snow, scrape the windows so you can see out of them, and carry on. But yeah, you don't need to worry about parking your cars indoors here in Canada. They still start in the winter, so they're pretty friendly. Other videos where I talk about my favorite training exercise, I do a shit ton of pronation. That's what boosts and I would say helps build the top of my forearm to where it is. A lot of cupping, a lot of pronation, and a shit ton of hammer curls. Did you see Devon doing 300 pounds on any of the lifts, Matt? I don't know if I've ever seen Devon do 300 pounds on any of his lifts. Definitely not when I was there. He was pretty beat up. I'd be surprised even if he was before able to do them, if he was able to do them when I was there, because we were beating the shit out of ourselves pretty good to be able to hit anything like that hard. It's definitely, I don't know if he's able to hit anything 300 pounds right now, just with the amount of table time and training and everything he's doing. But I definitely didn't see him do anything like that. Do you think Devon has the horsepower to beat super heavyweight elites? We don't see him pushing heavyweights like Michael Todd, Lamont, and Gennady. Because Devon doesn't concentrate and work on building his strength from the gym. Devon concentrates on building his strength from the table. Devon wants to be strong on the table, doesn't want to be strong in the gym. So Devon's theory, I believe, is huge, and that's one of the ways that I go about my training too. I believe if you want to be strong on the table, it's about being strong on the table, and I'm more of a believer in building strength on the table as opposed to building strength in the gym for arm wrestling. So yeah, I wouldn't be worried about him not hitting heavy weights or anything in the gym. Do you do any non-arm wrestling related exercises? Yeah, I do some non-arm wrestling related exercises. I do bench. I work my chest probably once every 4 days. And it's more just so if I go to the beach, I take my shirt off, I don't look like a tit. It might help a little bit with it. I'm not 100% sure. Other than that, majority is arm wrestling specific exercises. Even when I'm doing my chin-ups or anything like that, I try to think about arm wrestling while I'm doing it by keeping closer, keeping my wrist bent, using fatter grips. So yeah, that's if that helps answer your question. Do you think fast twitch, muscle fiber, gas, low stamina? Devon is slow, but has great stamina, lactic acid effect. Explosive guys seem to run out of gas quick. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Maybe there is something to do with that. The quicker your twitch reflex is, the more lactic acid you can build because you're pumping out a little more at the time, just in them short spurts. And if you're slower, maybe you're not building as much lactic acid. I'm not really sure about that. You might be onto something. I know myself, I will peter down if I got that quick twitch reflex, but when it comes to a really good match or anything like that, if it goes on for a long period of time, I do gas out. I feel the lactic acid, I feel that pump. She hits her pretty freaking hard. So maybe that you might be onto something there. Supporting a fellow Canadian full-time YouTube eventually. Wouldn't that be nice, eh, buddy? Thank you, sir, for that super chat. Vien Bong. So, Rajand Wagan. Love and respect from India. All the best, man. Thank you, sir, for that super chat. India. I heard tournaments there are insane. I heard that you guys have 10,000 people that show up to tournaments at times. India would definitely be a place to go check out if they ever put on a massive tournament. I'd love to be able to go check it out sometime. Rev 45K, can you tell us about your club and the group of guys you train with? Awesome group of guys. I don't think there's another group of guys I'd sooner train with than my guys. Everybody, they come in, we have a good time. It's just about hanging out. It's more a gentleman's club than it is anything else. We bullshit with each other, we make fun of each other, we make laughs, jokes. Somebody's feeling down, we build them up. It's just a good time. I got guys that range from beginner level up to guys that come and train with us that are 20, 25 years in the sport that know more than I do. So the club that I train with, I couldn't ask for a better group of guys. If it wasn't for them and them training with me and helping me out and doing what we do on a weekly basis, there's not a hope and prayer in hell that I would have accomplished half of what I have in my arm wrestling career without them. So yeah, my club is the best. I say my club is. Everybody says their club's the best, but no, you guys don't have the best club because I do. So, Matt, your forearm looks massive. What is your measurement? I'm not really sure. It's that big. I don't know. I've never really measured it. I think they're 15s or 16s or something like that. They're not massive. They just look massive just because I got the high vascularity. It doesn't take long. You can see it a lot more. So that's why they look bigger. They're not really that big. They just look big. Why do I look like Logan Paul? Well, I'm pretty fucking sure that Logan Paul looks like me because I was born first. So I don't know. You might have to ask him that fucking question. So, Matt, if Devon said his empty teacher, who is yours? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure about that question. I don't know how to answer that. How do you think you do against Larry in a year? If I continue to train, I don't think Larry stands a chance. Larry is still even a year, 2 years from now, maybe 4 years, he might be able to hit that top level. I don't really think he's there right now. I honestly, I don't. A year from now, I think I would probably own him, just like Schoolboy is going to own him in a couple more weeks. So, hey Matt, love from India. Thank you. Another one from India. Were you skinny when you realized you liked arm wrestling? I've always been skinny. Yeah, I liked arm wrestling from a young age before I even realized it was a sport. I was skinny right up until, even still, I'm still freaking skinny. So it's, I've always liked arm wrestling when I was skinny. What is your numbers on squat, bench, and deadlift? Not very. I go more just, so we'll see if that ends up helping. So, yeah. Oh, did the stream die on us or what? Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if I'm losing you guys. It looks like the stream may be dying, but I'm gonna try to go live on Thursday for these super matches. Come check them out if you're able to. If not, you can tune in later because it'll just be posted on my channel. I gotta get ready, go pick up my daughter from school here right away. I'm getting hungry, so I'm gonna go eat something. But look forward to talking to you guys again. Next Tuesday, I'm hoping to do the same thing again. We'll check it out. Oh, I got one more here from Tawny LaJoes. What convinced you to get active on YouTube? I think it's a great move and good for arm wrestling. I'm so glad to see you here. Big fan. Thank you, sir, for that super chat. It's something I've thought about for probably about 2-3 years. Just help get content and everything else. But it's something I've been thinking about just because people only see one side of me, and that's the part that's raging up on the table. So I figured I'd do something to show everybody else a different side of me, show the real Matt Mask as opposed to just a freak that's up on the table. So that's why I started. I had questions, I had people messaging me constantly, saying I gotta get one going. So yeah, I figured, fuck it. Figured might as well have some fun with it. Let you guys see the real me and show you guys a little bit more on the inside of what I do and how I get to where I am. I feel knowledge is key, not only for myself, but everybody else out there. The more knowledge everybody shares with everybody, the better off we're all gonna be. It's not something to be kept in and hoarded. Thank you, sir, for that super chat. Sean Crowler, what's up, my man? I'm gonna see you on Thursday. You let me know if not, we'll see you next Tuesday. All right, guys, now I gotta end this son of a bitch. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? End.